Everybody, and welcome to high school basketball on this Tuesday night. We are the regional semifinals at John Savage Hall on the campus of the University of Toledo. My name is Carl Metzger. Alongside me, the Hall of Fame coach, Bob Arnzen, as we're ready to bring you action tonight between the Fort Jennings Musketeers as John Von Sossen's team comes into the ball game. They are 20-3 on the season. They'll be taking on Brian Ziegler's Stryker Panthers. Now, Stryker comes into the ball game with a record as well of 20-3. Pregame show being brought to you by our good friends at Mike Pruitt Ford, where you'll discover for yourself that nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. Nobody. Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing real well. All excited being up here in the regional tournament.
You know, last year Fort Jennings made the same trip. Last year they made it to the regional finals, ended up losing to Edgerton. This year they get to face a Stryker Panthers squad that we're not real familiar with. We do know a couple of things, though.
I think that they're going to see a good ball club. I was talking to somebody back here, and they said they think that Stryker's got a good chance of winning the regional tournament. And they got probably what most good teams need to have up here. They got a big guy in the middle, averaging about 18 points a game in Blake Mueller. He's going to be a tough guy for Fort Jennings to handle. But since Fort Jennings played here last year, I think that that's going to erase just this much of the nervousness that all teams have when they come up here to play in a regional tournament. Fort Jennings is going to be tough. They got three players that I think pose a problem for anybody that they play against. Kyle Lebrecht, Kevin Grotehouse, and Matt Metzger are what I refer to as great penetrators. They can stand out and take the three. If you close the gap so they can't take the three, they beat you one-on-one and penetrate. They can shoot or they can dump it off, and they got two three-point shooters to play with, and Scott Gosser and Aaron Utrup, who are sitting outside that three-point line with their feet ready to go. And they can hit the three. It's going to be a tough defensive matchup for Stryker. As yet, I think that the best thing that Fort Jennings got beyond all their offense is they throw some press in at you. And I think in the St. John's game the other night, that was a difference in the ball game. A little bit of a press that Fort Jennings could put on. I think we're going to see a good ball club, but I think maybe the Fort Jennings might have too many horses.
What do you think about the University of Toledo, too, Bob? I've heard the things about this is really not a shooter's floor. Do you believe the same thing?
Well, see, what happens to us, Carl, as high school players, our basket sits out here, and there's a wall, usually within 10 or 15 feet. You come up here and shoot this basket, and that first thing you see back there is probably, what, 40 or 50 feet away.
Right.
So you really have to zero in on that basket. You have no background to shoot at. And I think that's where the kids get in trouble right off the bat, is there's no background. But they'll adjust to that real quick.
And the foxtrot continues here at the University of Toledo. A couple things we're kind of upset about. One is these little stickers they give us now. You know, we see these nice things hanging from our belts. We got little stickers now, and there's no food, no hospitality suite here on the campus of the University of Toledo. And you know, for us, that's not good.
Carl, I miss that little hospitality room, but I love that. It dresses up our shirts.
Just what I'm gonna do.
Makes your shirt look a little better.
I'll let you have my sticker too. Pregame show brought to you by our good friends at Mike Pruitt Ford, where you'll discover for yourself that nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. Nobody. We're going to take time out, take our stickers with us, and we're going to tell you about the starting lineups and also Mike Pruitt's keys to the game. We'll do all that right after these very important words on Fox. Stay with us. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to the University of Toledo, where tonight we've got boys regional semifinal high school basketball action on Fox between the Fort Jennings Musketeers and head coach John Von Sossen and the Stryker Panthers and head coach Brian Ziegler. Both of these teams come in tonight with records of 20-3. John Von Sossen, 40 years at Fort Jennings, 14 years as the head coach, career record of 171 and 139. For the Stryker Panthers and Brian Ziegler, his 5th year as head coach, his 10th year at Stryker. He has a career record of 55 and 53. Stryker Panthers, again, 20-3. They finished up with a record of 8-2 in their conference. The Fort Jennings Musketeers finished up in 2nd place in the Putnam County League with a record of 6-1. Fort Jennings Musketeers come into the ball game. They are averaging 71 points per game. They give up 54. And for the Stryker Panthers, they come in shooting, I should say, scoring 64 points per game, and they give up 53. For the Stryker Panthers, they have been in the district semis back in '95. They were in the semis again in '98. And in the 1978 season, they are in the regional semis as they took on the Ottoville Big Green in that contest. For the Fort Jennings Musketeers, they are shooting 51% from the field. They shoot 68% from the charity stripe, and they shoot 36% from behind the arc. For the Stryker Panthers, they are shooting 67%. Should make that 55% from two-point land. They shoot 67% from the charity stripe, and they are shooting 31% from behind the arc. Time to check out the two coaches coming out on the floor at this time. For the Fort Jennings Musketeers, John Von Sassen. And again, John in his 14th season as head coach, and then you will see as well coming out from the Stryker side for the Panthers, Brian Ziegler. Also, they will run down the assistant coaches for Stryker. They include Maurice Zuber and Tim Moore. For the Fort Jennings Musketeers, they are Bill Warnicki and Todd Hain. Got another game coming up here tonight. After this one, of course, the Toledo Wildcats still alive. They're going to be taking on Tiffin Calvert. Toledo is going to be coming into that game with a record of 19-4. And Tiffin Calvert comes in at 21-2. Going to be announcing now the non-starters for both these squads. Let's start first of all with the Fort Jennings Musketeers. Adam Gosser, number 12, is a 5'9" junior. Sam Young, number 24, a 5'9" sophomore. Mark Bamer, number 30, is a 6-foot senior. Scott Gosser, number 32, is a 6'1" senior. Should mention Scott is a starter. Tony Grothaus, a 5'10" junior, number 34. Jesse Ricker, 6-foot junior, number 40. Also in the starting, or rather non-starters, Zach Weber, 5'10" sophomore, number 44, and Brandon Norbeck is number 50. He is a 6-foot sophomore. For Stryker, their non-starters include Alex Rufer, who is a 6-foot junior, number 10. Also Tyler Willis, a junior, 5'10", wears number 11. Non-starters also include Daniel Burkholder, number 30, a 5'8" junior. Also Brent Freilich, number 40, a 5'9" junior. Zach Hay, a 6-foot junior, number 51. Josh Russell, a 6-foot junior, number 54. And also John Tracy, and I think they have that messed up in the program. That should be one of the starters, John Trace. So those are your non-starters for both the Stryker Panthers and the Fort Jennings Musketeers. Kind of nice, Bob. They did do a program, but as I look through, there's several problems with the program.
Several mistakes on it before we get the game started.
But they didn't, you know, it's kind of unusual. They did not have regular programs for this when we were here before in the districts, and they've stepped it up a little bit, and they did put a program together for the regionals.
It's kind of tough that the people in the stands don't have the names of all these players.
Hey, let's check out the starters now here on Fox. Let's start with the Fort Jennings Musketeers. Kyle Liebrecht, our player of the game for the Delta St. John Blue Jay game. He's number 14, a 5'10" senior. He averages a dozen. Also Kevin Grothaus, number 20. Kevin is a 5'11" senior. Kevin averages 18 points per game. Scott Gosser, number 32, is a 6'1" senior. Scott is averaging 11 points a game. Matt Metzger, 6'3" junior, number 22. Matt averages 17 a game, and he also pulls down 7 boards a game. And rounding out the starting five, a 6'3" senior, Aaron Utrip. Aaron wears number 42, and he averages 10 points a game, and he pulls down 5 boards a game. For the Stryker Panthers, number 22, Zach Wise, 5'10" junior, averaging 8. Number 5, Jordan Rufer, 5'9" junior, averaging 6 points a game. Craig DeGroff, 5'9" junior, number 21. Craig is averaging 11 points a game. John Trace is a 6'2" senior, number 55. He averages 12 a game, and he pulls down 6 boards a game. And their big man on the inside they like to go to, number 31, Blake Mueller, a 6'5" junior. He averages 19 a game, and he pulls down 11 boards per game. They like to play man-to-man defense. Offensively, they can do both. They can get up and down the floor, and they also can throw the half-court offense at you as well. Those are your starters. Let's check out now our keys to this game. Keys brought to you by Mike Pruitt Ford, where you'll discover for yourself that nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. Nobody. With the keys for tonight, Hall of Fame coach Bob Arnzen.
Okay, Carl, first for Stryker. They must stop Fort Jennings' penetration. This helps fuel Fort Jennings' offense. Secondly, they must be careful of Fort Jennings' press. This leads to many easy baskets in their running game. For Fort Jennings, they must remember what got them here, their press and their running game. Secondly, they must rebound hard. Stryker gets many points off of offensive rebounds.
Thank you, Bob. Those are the keys brought to you by Mike Pruitt Ford, where you'll discover for yourself that nobody beats a Mike Pruitt deal. Nobody. This Stryker team is a junior-oriented team. They only have one senior, Bob, in this starting lineup.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a real good team because they got a guy, Blake Mueller, that can dominate the ball game if Fort Jennings isn't careful.
And how about our 3 officials tonight, Bob?
Well, Carl, 3 officials tonight are John Mang right here in front of us, John Donofrio to our left, and Brian Monahan. Mandy's on the far side.
He's way over there.
Way on the other side.
Let's get this baby underway. Fort Jennings up against Stryker. Matt Metzger going to be jumping it up, and the tip will be controlled by the Panthers. Let's check out that defense, Bob.
I think it's going to be how they start the ball game. This is a man-to-man defense started by Fort Jennings. That's what they like to play.
Blake Mueller, and we saw that tight rim, Bob, to start this game.
This is a tough couple of minutes of a ball game.
Outside shot. This one is no good by Aaron Utrip. Rebound pulled down by the Stryker Panthers. Here they come with Jordan Rufer.
You like to see your team get a good start in a ball game like this because there's a lot of nervous energy out there right now.
Reverse the ball over to Zach Wise. Wise gives it up to Mueller. Mueller to Wise. Baseline thrown out of bounds. Turnover against the Stryker Panthers.
Boy, you can see some of these kids. Look at their eyes, Carl, when they come down the court. Some of them look really scared.
Just underway in this first quarter of play, the Fort Jennings Musketeers have made it to the regional semifinals. With the basketball is Aaron Utrip. He goes down to Metzger. Metzger spin move baseline, tosses it to Utrip. They work it around the perimeter, down low to Metzger. Baseline, dishes it off, and we have a foul. Foul's going to be whistled against the Panthers, I believe, or they say it was out of bounds, Bob.
I don't think it was a foul, Carl. I think he might have stepped on the line there.
Well, Fort Jennings still has it, so that's the key. Metzger takes it up and puts it in. Matt Metzger, a 6'3" junior, averaging 17, puts the Musketeers on top first. 2-zip on the Lone Zone scoreboard.
We saw Metzger the other night. He played a great game underneath the basket for Fort Jennings.
Jordan Rufer goes down to Mueller. Nice pass underneath. 2 points. John Trace, the 6'2" senior, makes it 2-2.
A big assist for Blake Mueller that time.
Kyle Liebrecht, who likes to penetrate, gives the basketball to Grodhaus, who puts it up too strong.
Here they
Rebound.
come.
Let's see if the Panthers can run. Down the floor, lead pass. Nice job. Baseline off the glass. John Trace has 4. It's now 4-2 on the Lone Zone scoreboard.
We should see a high-scoring game tonight, Carl. Looks like Stryker wants to run. We know Fort Jennings likes to run.
Over to Metzger. Metzger can knock down those threes. He also can do that, but he misses on the penetration. We're going to have a foul against Scott Gosser. Scott picks up the first foul of this basketball game.
Metzger threw that a little bit too hard. He made a nice penetrating move down the middle, and he couldn't get the ball on that glass right.
We are down to 5 minutes and 55 seconds remaining here in this first quarter of play. Stryker with the basketball. They bring it down floor to Jordan Rufer. Got it. Nice shot from the outside for Rufer, and now it's 6-2.
That's 3
Stryker.
for 4 baskets for Stryker to start out the ball game.
Metzger with the basketball, works right side, outside Utrip. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Scott Gosser. Thought I saw a 4 in there. That was Gosser who knocked that one down. Scott, the 6'1 senior who averages 11.
You know, he's a big key man for Fort Jennings. He's a good three-point shooter.
And now it's going to be Stryker with the basketball. And inbounding is going to be John Trace, the 6'2 senior.
That's a foul on Kevin Grotehouse on that.
Move to the hoop. It's going to be stolen away. Turnover against Stryker. And here come the Musketeers. They trail by 1, 6-5. Liebrecht wants to penetrate. And he goes behind the back, and he has it taken away. Turnover against Fort Jennings.
He didn't know there was a guy from Stryker standing right on the left hand of him waiting for that dribble.
Wise is going to be fouled on the floor before the move. And that is going to be team foul number 2, make that 3 against Fort Jennings. No fouls yet whistled against Stryker as they're going to keep the basketball to inbound again. Hey, coming up on Thursday, we're going to be having action for you from the Schottenstein Center. The St. John Blue Jay girls going to be playing in the state semifinals against Marion Local. Mealer off the glass, too strong. Rebound pulled down by Metzger. Here comes Matt working right side. Puts the move on, goes baseline, dishes it back to Liebrecht in the corner. Shot put up way short by Gosser. And here come the Panthers. Panthers are 20-3. Taking on the Musketeers also, same record, 20-3. They get it to Trace. Trace opposite side now to Wise, to Mealer, down low, got it right back to him. John Trace, 6 points already. He's got 6 of the 8, Bob. It's 8-5 Stryker.
That was nice high-low action for Stryker on that one. That's a tough play to defend.
Outside Grotehouse, this one's in. Kevin Grotehouse has his first 3 points of the ball game. At the 4-minute mark, we are tied up at 8-8 on the Lone Zone scoreboard.
He tied that up in a hurry with that 3.
Wise goes down to Mealer. There he is again. They're having some problems with Trace, Bob.
Well, they're doing that high-low. Mealer's coming out from the baseline to the foul line. And while he's doing that, Trace is sneaking down underneath.
Liebrecht in trouble, picked up his dribble. Now he goes down. Nice move by Gosser. Too strong off the glass. Scott can't get it. Here come the Panthers. 10-8. Panthers on top. They go lob down low to Mealer. Mealer back out top. Baseline move inside now in the paint. Trace up again. This time he misses. Mealer's there for the putback. Blake Mealer and John Trace are making things look easy.
They sure are. That's Mealer's first basket, but he's handled the ball every time they came down the court.
Metzger goes baseline. Nice move. He makes it look easy. What's John Von Sossen got to do here, Bob, to handle these two guys?
Well, he's got to make sure that every time Mealer comes up, that the man that's guarding Trace stays with Trace and don't give any help on Mealer.
And there's a turnover against Stryker. Here comes Liebrecht with a penetration down low, and there's a foul. And Matt Metzger is going to go to the line.
That's a good pass off that time by Kevin Grotehouse.
Fort Jennings got here by knocking off Lincoln View in the sectional finals, 57-54. They beat Perry in the district semis, 74-52. And then St. John's in that wild game from Elida, 71-59. As Metzger nails that first free throw. Metzger this season from the charity stripe is shooting 69%, 83 of 120. Gets one more, and we are tied with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in this first quarter.
I think Metzger gets better every game I see him play.
Down the floor, little move in the paint, nice job. Give that basket to Jordan Roofer. Jordan at 5'9".
I think we got two very similar teams here, Carl. They both like to run, they both like to head to the basket.
Outside, this one is no good by Utrip, rebound Stryker. Second game here, I guess, is a game of contrasting teams between Kalida and Tiffin Calvert.
Tiffin likes to get up and down?
Yep, at least that's what they tell me.
Kalida don't let many teams run on them.
Jordan Roofer.
They do a good job of controlling the basketball.
We hope to see an all-PCL regional final. Fort Jennings in Toledo. That'd be kind of neat, wouldn't it,
That
Bob?
sure would. Maybe we can move it over to the Palace or one of those places.
That's right. Nice pass on the inside. Blake Mueller with 2 more. It's now 16-12.
Fort Jennings up against a very good ball club, Carl. I haven't seen them before, but the way they move that basketball, they prove they're a good team.
There's the move by Grothaus, and too close a defense being played there, and it's going to be another foul. Team foul number 2 against Stryker, and let's see. They are going to give that foul to Jordan Rufer. That is his first. Substitution, let's check a new body out here for Stryker. Coming into the ball game is going to be number 10, Alex Rufer, who is a cousin to Jordan. Alex is 6-foot junior, number 10, who averages 4. Metzger with 2 more on the inside. Matt Metzger makes it 16-14. Nice first quarter for both squads.
Very good first quarter. I hope it goes this way for 4 quarters. A lot of action.
Mueller, and we've got, what, a body foul?
Yep.
And yes, they're going to whistle that against Jesse Ricker, the 6-foot junior, number 40. Team foul number 4 against Fort Jennings.
Turnover referee. Bad pass.
Inbounding is Tyler Woolis, who's now in the ball game for Stryker. They play about 7 guys, 7 deep, 7 to 8 deep, according to Coach Ziegler.
They have to have confidence in him, Carl. They took John Trace out of the ball game, give him a rest. He's got 8 points.
Tyler Woolis in. He's just a sophomore, Bob, number 11. This is a very young team. Wise gives it up in the paint. Now they dish it back off. This is Rufer. Rufer goes back to DeGroff. Now it's stolen away. Metzger, nice job off of Stryker.
Very good save, Matt Metzger.
And so with the turnover, Fort Jennings gets it back at the 1:01 mark of this first quarter. 16-14, Stryker on top. This is Kyle Liebrecht. Kyle works the left side to Metzger. Metzger looks things over, drives in the paint, throws it up, and gets the bucket, but they're going to call it traveling
A tough
violation.
call, Carl. He made a good fake on that one. I think he fooled the defensive man and one of those other guys that's out there on the floor.
Division I, they'd have given him another step. DeGroff goes down to Mueller. Mueller, power move, no good. Rebound, pulled down by Grothaus, and now we have a foul. Foul's going to be whistled against Stryker. And I think they nailed Tyler Woolis, and they did. That's his first. That is team foul number 3. Substitution, we're going to see Gosser come back in, Scott Gosser. Sitting down is going to be Jesse Ricker.
He did his job while he was in here to give him a rest.
Liebrecht has it with 27 seconds remaining, first quarter. He works it to Metzger. And now they go lob right back to him. Nice play. Just like John Von Sossen drew it up, Bob.
That's a set play. They practice that daily to make it run that well.
And there's a foul as well, and Metzger is going to go to the line to try to take the 1-point lead for the Fort Jennings Musketeers. They had trailed 16-12.
Carl, this is the same kind of start that Matt Metzger had in their last game against St. John.
And he gets it.
That's 11 points already he has tonight.
Coming into the ball game is going to be Brent Freilich, the 5'9" junior for Coach Ziegler. And he is a junior, and you don't see many seniors. In fact, Trace, the only one that's here today. That's amazing. Down to 12 seconds. It's 17-16 Fort Jennings. This is Zach Wise. Goes down low. It's knocked away by Utrip with 4 seconds. Bounce pass over to Liebrecht. Got it. And the time will expire here in this first quarter of play. The Fort Jennings Musketeers, after 8 minutes, on top of the Stryker Panthers. Our score, Fort Jennings 19, Stryker 16. Second quarter action coming up next on Fox. Welcome back to John Savage Hall, the campus of the University of Toledo. Our score after 8 minutes, the Fort Jennings Musketeers on top 19-16. And as I mentioned before, they were down, Bob, 16-12, so they outscored their opponents 7-zip in that last couple of minutes.
Carl, that's a nice part of Fort Jennings. They can be down, but they run, they press, they shoot the three, and they get baskets pretty quick. They're never out of a ball game the way they play.
Well, we know they can score. They are averaging 71 points per game. They give up just 54. Stryker averaging 64 points a game. They give up 53. Again, we're going to be at the Schottenstein Center coming up this Thursday at 2 o'clock. Marion Local and Delphos St. John the Blue Jays. And we're going to replay that game 11 o'clock on Thursday night. Congratulations to the Blue Jays and best of luck on Thursday. Metzger with the basketball in the paint, looking for the shot. Goes back to Liebrecht, and he will come up short. Metzger knocks it back out. I should say they knock it back out to Metzger. He picks it up, dishes it off down low.
Yeah.
Scott Gosser on the assist from Matt Metzger.
Nice pass that time by Matt Metzger.
21-16. Here comes Stryker. Craig DeGroff goes back top side to Zach Wise, the 5'10 junior. And they throw that one against the backboard, and it comes right back to him, and they try it again to Trace, and he puts it in. Should have known where he was going after the first pass.
Carl, should we count that as a shot? It hit the backboard.
Count it whatever you want, Bob. They got the bucket off of it. It's 21-18. This is Grotehouse. Kevin Grotehouse makes it 23-18. They break the press. This is Roofer. Jordan puts it in. 23-20. Both teams shooting pretty well in these tight rims, Bob.
You know, they're running. It's hard to pick up your man at the defensive end that quick. That's why they're getting a lot of these unmolested shots in here. Both teams probably got to get back a little quicker on defense.
On Thursday, Lima Central Catholic takes on Ontario at this same site. Division III basketball. Championship on Saturday at 3 o'clock.
We just got switched into a zone defense here by Stryker.
Let's see what the Musketeers can do against the zone. They like to shoot, so this one's no good by Utrip down there. And here come the Stryker Panthers trailing by just one possession, 3 points. Down low, they throw it away. Turnover, and nice save by Scott Gosser.
I think that zone switch for Stryker is a good deal to stop the penetration. Oh, boy, they didn't stop Metzger that time.
And a shot is missed again by Utrip, knocked out front, and last touched by the Musketeers. Another local team going to be playing as well on Wednesday. The Shawnee Indians take on Willard. Best of luck to Jeff Heaston and his crew. They're going to be at BGSU.
I think that Jeff Heaston's got his Shawnee team going at the right time right now. They had a little lull period at the end of the regular season, but they're playing real well right now.
And we've got a double dribble. Turnover against Stryker. And those, Bob, the only local teams we have left. St. Henry, of course, playing tonight as well from the University of Dayton against Mechanicsburg.
Yeah, they go south. They're playing with the southern teams down there, and they can work their way to the state tournament, just like our Northwest District teams are doing right here.
Outside Grotehouse, and there it is. Kevin looked like it was going to pop out for a second there. Turnover there against Stryker. Oh, wait a minute. They're going to say, yeah, they do.
Good call.
Yeah. Thought he was going to switch that and say it was last touched by the Musketeers, but Fort Jennings will get it.
This official did a good job. He didn't see what happened. He looked out here in the court, and one of the other officials gave him a signal that should go Fort Jennings' way.
Fort Jennings has it with Kyle Liebrecht. Down to 5 minutes and 8 seconds remaining first half. Carlin Bob bringing it to you from the University of Toledo. Gosser's open, shouldn't do that, and fortunately for Stryker, he missed the shot.
Boy, they find him open outside, nice. And he takes his time and shoots that three.
And they're up by 6 points right now, 26-20. And we're down to 4 minutes and 58 seconds remaining here in this first half.
So far, they're doing a good job down here on Blake Mueller. He's not touching the ball a whole lot.
This is Craig DeGroff, gives it up to Wise. Now they go and they throw it away. They tried to force it, Bob, down to Blake Mueller that time.
Well, Fort Jennings is down his own defense. They got Stryker standing around right now. They're not doing a good cutting like they did before.
Gosser left side to Liebrecht. Kyle looking over that defense, goes to Utrip, passes up the three, dribbles in and lays it up off the glass, off the rim to the glass and in. makes it 28-20. A timeout is going to be called by Brian Ziegler, the head coach of the Stryker Panthers. I'd like to thank our sponsors for making it possible that Bob and I are here bringing this regional semifinal game to you. They include OTech Communications at 245 West 3rd Street in Ottoville, Roadhouse Construction in Fort Jennings, Jim Dickman, your Allstate insurance agent, Elida Road east of Delphus, and also Advantage Hair Design for all your family hair care needs, coming soon at 826 East 3rd in Delphus. We appreciate those sponsors for making it possible. We're here where the Foxtrot continues to roll, Bob, and we're going to be bringing you all the boys' games up through the state semifinals. We've been told again and by the Ohio High School Athletic Association that it's not possible for us to bring you the state finals, and we don't like that.
Let's hope, Carl, that someplace along the way they change their mind on that. I still think there's an outside shot that something could happen.
And look at that one. Talk about a rim that didn't want to cooperate. Shot is missed, and here come the Fort Jennings Musketeers. Liebrecht down the floor, looking for some help. Pulls it back out. Goes over to Gosser. Gosser. They reverse it to Grothaus. Kevin goes to Kyle. They're going to have to reshuffle that offense.
That's a good deal. Set up so they know what they're doing.
Metzger looks things over. Goes baseline against Mueller. Oh, what a move. And down went John Trace. A lot of contact, nothing called, and Fort Jennings up by 10.
What a tournament that Matt Metzger is having. Didn't see the sectional tournament, the district, and this one so far, he's been sensational.
He's the only non-senior in this starting lineup, just a junior. He's back, and they throw it away again. And Utrip had it in his hands and just squeaked on out. I can't believe, Bob, how they're trying to force it down to Blake Mueller.
Yeah, and they aren't doing a very good job of getting it down there because Aaron Utrip's guarding him down there low, and he's making it tough to get the ball inside.
Substitutions coming in. Mark Bamer.
Now we'll see what Bamer can do.
And also Jesse Ricker. Bamer at 6 foot. He's a senior, number 30.
Now we'll check this out and see. See, they're in their zone right now.
Yep.
A 1-3-1 zone.
And Jesse Ricker, the job in the middle of that zone. This is Zach Wise. Wise goes back to Roofer. Roofer looks back to Wise. Now they go down in the corner. The shot from outside is in and came out.
Boy, Stryker's having a hard time. Wow.
A body's all over the place, and the last person to touch it was a Musketeer. Blake Mueller saved it for Stryker, getting it back after Fort Jennings got it on the rebound.
Stryker's been having a tough time getting a good look at that basket with the good defense that Fort Jennings is playing.
Metzger's going to take a seat, and Gosser comes back in, and Jordan Roofer is going to be the trigger man. He goes out to Wise. Working against that zone, down to Mueller. Mueller pops it back out, top side. Now they go to Wise. Craig DeGroff wants 3. Oh, boy. I tell you, they got to be frustrated.
That's a tight basket down here.
Very tight. Somebody better get a crescent wrench out. Loosen that baby up. Back to Liebrecht. We won't complain, no way.
No, we won't. We like the way it's going so far.
30-20 on the Lone Zone scoreboard. We're down to 2:18 remaining first half. Grothaus, another one. 2 more points for Kevin Grothaus, and Fort Jennings now up by 12. Looking to come back to the regional finals where they were here last year against Edgerton.
Fort Jennings is doing this, Carl, without Kyle Liebrecht getting in the scoring column yet, but he's playing a good floor game.
There they go. They get it down low to one of their big guys, John Trace, and Trace makes it a 10-point game, 32-22. Fast-paced first half.
Very fast. Both of them are going up and down the court like they want to.
Only 8 fouls called so far. Grothaus is going to travel on that fake. Coming back in, we're going to see Aaron Utrip, and also joining him on the floor is going to be Matt Metzger, and taking a seat is going to be Mark Bamer. And who's going to join him? It's going to be Kevin Grothaus. Nice job by Kevin.
He's getting them just enough rest in here. He's going to keep a fresh ball club on the floor.
Here comes Jordan Roofer. Double teamed out top. Metzger and Ricker out there causing some problems. He dishes it off. Down to 1:30 remaining, second quarter. Zach Wise goes down low again, and when they get it down there, that's when they really move things. John Trace with 2 more points.
That's 14 points right now for John Trace. He's sneaking around down from block to block underneath the basket, and they're finding him.
Metzger from 15 comes up short. Rebound. Back out front, they throw it away. Turnover against Fort Jennings. Roofer with the pick. There's a spin move on the floor. Nice job by Zach Wise, not losing that one. Down to 53 seconds. 8-point lead for the Musketeers, 32-24.
Fort Jennings would like to keep this lead going into the second half.
Moving the ball around the perimeter. Roofer down to 35 seconds. Very patient, Bob.
Very patient right now.
Outside, they're going to try the 3, and they get it finally. Jordan Roofer knocks this one down, and now it's a 5-point game.
I think they lullabied Fort Jennings on that. It looked like they were going to hold the ball for the last shot of the half, and all of a sudden he fires up a 3 unmolested.
12 seconds. Kevin Grodehouse isn't going to get a chance to get back in. He's waiting to come in. We're down to 9 seconds. Out to Metzger. Metzger with 6, puts up the 3. Yes! Matt Metzger, 1 second, and they'll get off a half-court shot, but it comes up short. We have played 16 minutes of high school basketball here from the University of Toledo. Our score on the Lone Zone scoreboard, it is Fort Jennings 35 and Stryker 27. Halftime show coming up next on Fox. I don't know. Welcome back to the campus of the University of Toledo. We have 2 quick quarters in the books. Boy, we're going to get to the steakhouse in real good fashion tonight, Bob, as it's already
I'm ready to go.
Halftime and real time. It only took a half hour to get that in. And our score at the half is 35-27. The Fort Jennings Musketeers in pretty good shape right now, Bob, as they're playing their kind of game.
I think it looks good for Fort Jennings right now. They're penetrating. If Stryker lays off a little bit, they're taking a 3-point shot over the top of them. And Fort Jennings is playing pretty good defense down here. They've mixed it up a little bit between a man the first quarter and a zone of 1-3-1 zone in the second quarter.
You got some individual numbers for us?
Yep, Carl. For Fort Jennings, Kyle Liebrecht has 2, Kevin Grodehouse 10, 5 for Scott Gosser, 2 for Aaron Utrup, and a big 16 again at the halftime. Same as the last game for Matt Metzger, big 16 points. For Stryker, they've only had 3 score. Jordan Roofer's got 9. Blake Mueller, their big 19-point-a-game man, has 4, and John Trace has 14. I think with Stryker staying this close and Mueller only having 4, Stryker coach will feel pretty good.
Halftime show being brought to you by our good friends at Van Dyne Crotty of Delphus. Van Dyne Crotty, uniforms that work. Let's take this 30-second timeout. We'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back. I want to tell you again that coming up this Thursday, we've got girls action for you. And on Thursday at 2 o'clock is when the Blue Jays will be playing in real time at the Schottenstein Center, Bob. And they're going to be the first girls team ever to step out on the floor at the Value City Arena and the Schottenstein Center.
I was talking to the BZ Grodehouse, the St. John's coach, the other day, and he's kind of thrilled with that because, you know, that'll go in a record book. And I would imagine that'll be in the girls program for years to come, that they were the first girls team to play a state tournament in there.
And we should say that it's going to be 2 MAC teams who will be doing that because they're going to be taking on the Marion Local Flyers, who come in at 16-8 against the Blue Jays, 25-0. And I think most people are thinking right now, this should be an easy cakewalk for the Jays, and I know they're not thinking that way.
No truth to that. Marion Local has 3 girls, like 6 foot, 6'1", and 6'2", and any time in the ball game, if that ball rolls right off of that basket or comes off the board just right, any one of those 3 girls can dominate the ball game. Even though Mandy Elwer's about 6'1" for St. John's, that's a king-size job she's got to take all 3 of them on.
And we say the best of luck, too, to the Bluffton Pirates. They're taking on Sardinia Eastern Brown, 2 undefeated teams at 25-0. They're going to be playing on Thursday night as well at 7 o'clock. Congratulations to Dennis Lee's team and the best of luck. Halftime show brought to you by our good friends at Van Dyne Crotty of Delphus. Van Dyne Crotty, uniforms that work. Let's take another timeout. When we come back, we'll have third quarter action for you. Right now, our halftime score, Fort Jennings 35 and Stryker 27. More action coming up next on Fox. Welcome back to John F. Savage Hall, the campus of the University of Toledo, getting ready for quarter number 3. Fort Jennings shot 56% in the first half, 40% from behind the arc, 3 for 3 from the foul line, and for Stryker, 68% from the field, 33% from behind the arc. They did not shoot any free throws, Bob, in the first half.
No, that's because Fort Jennings has been playing pretty good, tough defense.
Tell you, both teams playing very well, especially shooting the basketball in that first half. Here come the Musketeers after the turnover. They tried to force it into Mueller again, Bob, and look at that. Metzger takes advantage, and he's having himself a career night in the first half, plus the beginning of the third quarter.
These outside players are really threading the needle to him down inside low. That was a neat pass that time.
They finally get it to Mueller. Now they toss it back out to Rufer. Rufer gives it up to Wise.
Now they're back in their zone again.
And they almost throw it away one more time. Really struggling to try to get the ball down low, and when they do, that's why their percentage has been so good. They're getting into their big men.
I think this zone has really hampered Stryker.
They have to force the outside shot, and they miss. Nice rebound, Aaron Utrip, and here come the Musketeers.
Sometimes these high school teams forget that they don't have a clock on them, that they can take as much time as they want before.
Utrip knocks down a big-time three. It's 40-27. Fort Jennings on top by 13 points. Now they put some pressure on Wise across the timeline, down low, the easy 2 points. Mueller gets himself 2 to make it 40-29. Just not the same atmosphere playing in these big college, these big university basketball floors, because the crowds, you can't hear the crowds as much because everybody's so scattered around.
And Carl, they're right behind us here.
Yep.
But
Nice
they still don't hear.
Again, Kyle Liebrecht. 2 more points makes it 42-29. Down low, and they throw it away, trying to go to Mueller again. No, you know they're getting just as excited. You know the crowd's getting into it just as much, but when you got all that noise spread out throughout a place like this, it doesn't seem like anybody's really getting into it.
It makes all the difference in the world also to the players out in here. They're not used to this atmosphere of a quietness.
Kevin Grodhouse with the fake, takes it to the rack and puts it in. Kevin Grodhouse makes it a 15-point game. And the Musketeer fans really getting into it now. 44-29. They must have heard me, Bob. I can hear them a little bit more now.
Boy.
Mueller gets 2 more points. 44-31. Third quarter from Savage Hall. And another move to the paint. Shot put up, tipped around, and finally knocked out to Metzger.
Watch these Fort Jennings kids jump on that board. They talked about a lack of height.
Nice job, and Metzger can't get it to go. Too strong off the glass.
Good pass, too.
Across the timeline, Zach Wise. Wise, right side against Liebrecht, goes down in that corner. Now back to him, they get it to Mueller. Triple teamed. Outside 3, and he comes up with an air ball. You know, that's the second time we've seen that. As you mentioned before, Bob, as the moves put on by Trace and put up and in, it's a whole different ball game when you're shooting from this floor as opposed to some of the other places.
There's no background to shoot at. The basket looks like it's just sitting out there by itself where there's no target. That's hard for a high school kid to adjust to this.
I've heard Bob Segerson say, just pretend that you're in a box. Outside shot, this one is no good, so you kind of block out all those things around you.
Yep. And then you got to find that little orange ring up there real quick.
Lob down low. There he is again. Blake Mueller.
That's not good news for Fort Jennings. Just 4 baskets early in the first 4 minutes of this third quarter for Mueller.
And it's 44-35, and John Von Sossen hears you, Bob.
Yeah.
He's going to call timeout and talk things over a little bit. Some of the other games being played that we still have some of our local teams going at it. In Division II, Bowling Green State University, Shawnee and Willard. It's going to be taking place at 8:15 on Wednesday. In Division III, Lima Central Catholic, 8:15 game against Ontario on Thursday, right here from the University of Toledo. We got this game. Toledo comes up after this one. And then from the University of Dayton tonight as well, St. Henry against Mechanicsburg, 21-3. Mechanicsburg, 21-2 St. Henry. The winner to play Fort Loramie or Tip City Bethel. So still a lot of representation left for the boys from our area. Thanks to all of our sponsors making it possible that Bob and I are here tonight doing this game. Back Thursday for the St. John's girls game and hope to come back here on Friday night for Fort Jennings and Toledo. That'd be nice. Roadhouse goes to Utrop and he comes up short. Looks like all of our baseline shots are coming up short.
Well, see, there's less of a background there even, Carl. Look how far away the stands are.
Jordan Rufer gets 2 more points, and this one's getting interesting again. It was 15 points, back down to a 7-point game, 44-37.
Fort Jennings got to settle down here and get a good shot. They need a basket.
Roadhouse with the runner and a charging foul, turnover against Fort Jennings. The momentum starting to swing to Stryker way.
It's swung right now, Carl. They're in a ball game now.
Well, they've had Metzger out. He's going to have to come back in. Matt Metzger with, 18 points so far. Was taking a breather, but they need to get him back in the ball game. Pressure defense by the Jays.
Oh, boy.
Liebrecht would have turned around. He could have stripped that one away.
That might have been a layup. Fort Jennings went back in her man-to-man, Carl.
And this is Jordan Rufer working against Roadhouse. Goes left wing to Craig DeGroff. They try to force it again. Every time they try to force it, they throw it away. Here comes Metzger, puts the fake on, goes to Liebrecht, throws it up off the glass. Nice shot, Kyle Liebrecht. I think that's the key here, Bob, at this place is to take it off the glass.
Take it off the glass. You can throw it a little harder that way, too.
46-37. Down to 2 minutes and 50 seconds. One of the faster games that we've seen all season long. There's only 1 foul called this whole third quarter. That's amazing. And they only had about 8, Bob, in the first half.
Carl, I think the refs did a good job real early in the ball game, if you remember. About the first 2 minutes, there were a lot of fouls called. They put something in these kids' head that they are going to call them.
There's Mueller putting on the move, and he gets it. Knocked down the defender, Scott Gosser. They didn't call anything, and it's going to be a 46-39 game. In the corner, wide open for the 3. This one is no good. Metzger. Whoops. Oh, clearing the ball out there was Jordan Rufer and throwing some elbows. Fort Jennings fans didn't like that. Right wing with 2:05 remaining. Mueller right back to Rufer. He comes up short. Rebound Mueller. He'll go down low to Trace, who puts it up and has his shot blocked by Utrop. Loose on the floor and picked up by Jennings. It's a one-on-one break. Let's see if Kyle challenges. No, he goes to Metzger for 2. Nice job, Kyle Liebrecht. Metzger's got 20.
Great assist for Kyle Liebrecht.
And there's a steal the other way from Utrop off the glass. Timeout. No, we got a official's timeout. Has gone down with Zach Wise, and he's grabbing hold of his ankle, and that don't look good.
No, he looks like he's hurting right now.
And they're going to have to get him off the floor. Official's timeout. He'll take a seat. It don't look good right now for one of the starters, Zach Wise, the 5'10 junior. You do not want to see that in a regional semifinal game, or no other time do you want to see an injury like that, especially when you make it this far.
Coach Ziegler's kind of perturbed over there. I didn't see what happened out there in midcourt, but he was saying something to referees about that.
So Fort Jennings with the 11-point lead, 50-39. Stryker had come to within 7. And a couple of turnovers leading to some easy baskets, and Fort Jennings on top. Roadhouse picks up the foul. That is the second foul. And the fans for Stryker going crazy now. They finally think that they got a call. And that is the 3rd foul, Bob, against Roadhouse.
Carl, that's a big foul. They cannot afford to lose him. I don't think Fort Jennings can afford to lose anybody in their basketball team. Their ranks are just a shade thin. going to be interesting here to see how long that Coach Von Sassen lets him sit on the bench.
Stryker with the basketball. This is Mueller. The spin move off the glass. Too strong. Rebound for Jennings. Gosser picks it up.
Here they come.
Fort Jennings finished the number 10 team in the state of Ohio as they throw it away in the final boys AP rankings. We're down to 1 minute and 5 seconds, third quarter. This is Trace. He gives it up on the left wing. Now they go to Mueller, bounce pass. It's worked all night. The Mueller to Trace combination is big time.
That's your high-low, and they've really made a game out of that.
Left wing to Metzger. It's 50-41. We're down to 40 seconds. Utrip over to Liebrecht. Liebrecht looking for Metzger. Instead, they go back over to Ricker. Now they just pass it around for a couple of passes until that guy gets it. Aaron Utrip with another big three ball. He's got 7 points, Bob, here in this third quarter.
Yep, to go. There's 2 in the first half. He's playing a heck of a ball game.
Trace again with 2 more points. Back to a 10-point game.
16 points for Trace right now.
We're down to 12 seconds. Liebrecht putting up the fist, down to 10. We're down to 6. Liebrecht loses the handle, then almost has it stolen away. Utrip for 3. Yes! Horn will sound, and Aaron Utrip, our player of the game for the third quarter. What a shot by Aaron to make our score after 3. Fort Jennings 56, Stryker 43. 8 minutes left for the Fort Jennings Musketeers to advance to the regional championship. We'll bring it to you after these very important words on Fox. Welcome back to the University of Toledo. Our score after 3, 56-43, Bob, and a nice quarter for Aaron Utrip.
Real nice quarter for him, but also for Fort Jennings. You know, Carl, they lost about a 12-point lead and went down to 8. 15 or 16-point lead went down to 8, but they put it right back up to a nice 13-point lead going into the fourth quarter.
The number 1 team in Division 4 was Worthington Christian. They are 24-0, Bob, and they are playing at the Columbus Fairgrounds tonight. And they take on Maureystown White Oak.
Everybody that has seen them says they got a heck of a team.
Metzger got 2 more. Berlin Highland, the number 2 team, and they're still in it as well as they are playing at Canton's Memorial Fieldhouse tonight against North Jackson Milton.
How about Berlin Highland? Only 1 loss, isn't it, Carl?
Yep, 23-1. Their girls are in too, and they're undefeated, aren't they?
Yeah, they're in Division 4 also. That'd be neat to have 2 of them from your school in there.
Yep. In fact, they're playing in that same state tournament with Marion Local, St. John's, and North Robinson, Colonel Crawford.
Now, that's Colonel Crawford's out of our area up here. So that's really 3 Northwest Ohio teams in the Final 4.
Could have a St. John's Berlin Highlands state championship game, both undefeated. That'd be interesting.
Wouldn't that create some interest in that?
Ball knocked away and diving for the basketball. And finally picked up.
Oh,
nice
beautiful!
Pass. Kyle Liebrecht.
Oh, boy, beautiful play. Give him a hand, guys.
That's what it's all about. Hustle all over the floor.
That's why they're leading by 15 points. Great play by Fort Jennings. Diving for the ball and still coming up with it.
58-43 our score with 7 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. Kyle Liebrecht will step to the line. And he will nail the first one. Kyle is shooting 62% for the line this season. Other Division 4 teams that finished in the top 10, Springfield Catholic Central, number 4, Cincinnati 7 Hills 5, Tiffin Calvert, a team we talked about, going up against Kalida, number 6. St. Henry still in it, they're number 7. 8, Lucas, 9, Reedsville Eastern. And Fort Jennings, number 10. Outside, Metzger passes it up, goes in the paint. Now what? Travel?
Oh, boy.
Where'd that come from?
Oh, must have been while he was up in the air.
as everyone looks at each other with a confused look.
That helped Fort Jennings a little bit because that would have been a charging foul, I think, otherwise.
59-43 our score. We're down to 7 minutes remaining in this one. Next game, the Toledo Wildcats playing Tiffin Calvert. There's the move to the rack. Layup is missed. Here come the Fort Jennings Musketeers. They've got the numbers. 3-on-2. Metzger spin move, and he loses the handle. Saved. Liebrecht out to Utrip for 3. No. One of the few misses by Aaron here in this second half. You got to be careful not to foul. And they finally get it across the timeline. They lob it down low, almost knocked away. It is. Aaron Utrip knocks it out of bounds.
You know, Mueller is a real aggressive kid in there, getting open to get those passes from these guys. He could really hurt Fort Jennings. He'd be just a shade more aggressive inside, offensively.
State tournament next week, the 23rd, 24th, and the 25th. Division 2 and 4, the semis on the 23rd, 3 and 1 on the 24th. There's the move to the rack. Shot put up and in by Mueller. Championship games, of course, the finals on March the 25th. Make that 59-45 is our score. Fort Jennings on top. They're 6 minutes and 10 seconds away from moving to the finals. Taking their time, no need to hurry. They've got the big lead. Kyle Liebrecht.
Now they can work for the good shot. Keep a lot of motion going.
Back out front to Utrip. Double team Metzger. Metzger fakes. Utrip. Liebrecht. Again, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors making it possible that we are here doing this regional semifinal game, as there's the foul.
Carl, Jesse Ricker came off the bench for Fort Jennings 2 or 3 times tonight. He's playing a heck of a ball game, filling in.
Fort Jennings Telephone Company in Fort Jennings, the Carriot Party Shop in Ottawa. Skyline Chili and Cappy Sports, our post-game sponsors, going to help us out with our player of the game as soon as this one's over. And also the Commercial Bank, one great bank, locations in Delphus, Elida, Gomer, and Lima. Metzger takes a seat. They get it into Grotehouse. Pop it back out, top side. Ricker gives it up to Liebrecht. Down to 5 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in this one. The winner to take on the winner of the second game between Toledo and Tiffin Calvert. And when you got guys like this, Bob, all these guys on this Fort Jennings team can handle the basketball.
Every one of them. They're all guard size in there. That's why they get so much good penetration on a one-on-one move.
There's Utrip. Back to Liebrecht. They're eating up a lot of time.
They don't want to stall, though. Play your game, guys.
Liebrecht, Utrip's wide open, and he misses the shot. Too short on that one. Down the floor, nice pass, threaded the needle on that one. Oh, behind the back, shots missed. Off the glass, here come the Musketeers. We've got 3 bodies on the floor, and finally they call a foul. And the foul is going to go against the Musketeers. Now, wait a minute. They nailed the Stryker Panthers with that one.
That might have been on Blake Mueller. Or Craig DeGraff.
Craig DeGraff picks up his second foul, team foul number 3. Fort Jennings with 3 team fouls as well. Metzger baseline fakes, puts it up, and he's fouled on the floor before the shot. The girls' state tournament gets underway on Thursday. Division 4 games, like I told you, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, Division 4. And then they'll go with the rest on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday will be the finals. If St. John's wins, they'll play Saturday morning at 11 o'clock.
Carl, let's give these officials a little bit of credit tonight. Early in the ball game, they called them kind of close. We were wondering what was going to happen. But you notice how much different the players have played since then? They're knocking the heck out of each other.
And we saw the big boss of the OHSAA that hires all the officials. Hank Zaborniak was here a couple minutes ago, said hi to him.
I think he tries to get out to as many district and regional games as he possibly can so he can do some evaluating of officials.
4 minutes and 17 seconds remaining as Jesse Ricker takes a seat, gets a nice round of applause. Liebrecht slaps the ball, looking for some help, gets it into Grotehouse, and they give it right back to him. Inside to Metzger. Puts the fake on the ball. Beautiful.
Man.
Can't get it to go. Gets his own rebound, and they move it back around. Grodehouse picks it up. We're at 4 minutes. 4 minutes remaining in this basketball game, and it's a 14-point lead.
Grodehouse has Metzger has great inside moves.
Just banging it a little bit too strong off the glass. These rims are tight. They've eaten up about 2.5 to 3 minutes, Bob, here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, they're waiting, and yet they're running their offense.
Yep.
Just as soon as Stryker lets down a little bit here, somebody's going to break open.
And now we have another foul. That's team foul number 6 against Stryker. One more, and the Musketeers will be at the line the whole fourth quarter, the rest of this fourth quarter. And Coach Brian Ziegler wants to talk things over. He's a little frustrated right now with the Musketeers taking a lot of air out of the ball, Bob.
He's looking up at that scoreboard, and things aren't looking so good for him right now because they need the basketball to get back in the ball game.
Saw Dick Quartercracks here before this ball game. He, I believe now, Bob, is at 666 career victories. Of course, you had 676, and he'll be able to take over second place next year. Working for first place, he's going to have to get 695 to tie Paul Walker. And you're telling me old Joe Petrucelli from Kettering-Alders moving up fast, too. And, of course, Fran Gilbo's already retired.
Yeah, he's retired. I think that Joe Petrucelli is going to stay in it for a few more years, so that'll be Dick's chief worry after he breaks Paul Walker's record, whether Petrucelli can beat him or not.
And he's averaging around about 19 wins a season, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yep. This year he got knocked out early. They lost, I think, the district finals.
Of course, Bob coached 43 years, 676 and 291. You average, what, about 17 wins a season?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it was, but did you ever figure out how many losses I averaged this season? Pretty many of them, too.
About 291 losses. You divide that 43 into that, that's not too many.
I was talking to some group one time, and I told them I probably got more losses than any of you guys got wins.
At the foul line is Kyle Liebrecht. Liebrecht will have it go in, and it pops right back out. Down the floor they go. They got to hurry, and they're going to... Oh, that one was in. Man, oh, man, those rims are tight.
That baby was in and came out.
That was Tyler Willis. Down the floor, and nice catch by Liebrecht. They move it around the perimeter again.
Boy, they're working the heck out of this basketball.
Another foul. We're going to go to the line one more time.
Boy, Fort Jennings has a lot of poise right now.
And let's see, it's going to be Aaron Utrip this time going to the line for the Musketeers. And his first shot is good. Aaron this season shooting from the line 58%. Looked real good on that one.
That's the 13th point for Aaron Utrip. He's been a good scorer through the tournament for Fort Jennings.
Second shot, this one's in, and it comes out. Knocked around and finally picked up by the Panthers. Here they come. Zach Wise, and what, a foul? That's team foul number 4 against the Musketeers. Not the kind of foul that John Von Sassen wants to see with 3 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. And his team up by 15 points.
Yeah, not this time. They don't need a foul right now. They need that clock running. That clock's on their side.
Stryker works it right side.
Stryker needs a basket so they can get into their press.
Outside, this one's no good. Rebound Willis, and we've got a foul again against Fort Jennings. That's number 5. And give that one to Gosser, and he picks up his second foul. Coming back into the ball game is Alex Rufer, the 6-foot junior. Hey, when this is over, we're going to go out the floor and talk about our player of the game. They've told us we're not allowed to do our interviews on the floor after the game. And that one's no good. Rebound Metzger. They've told us that before, Bob, but we always do what we want anyway. We'll see what happens at this game. There's a steal. Turnover, Fort Jennings. Rebound. Back up and...
another one.
I can't believe that one goes in. That one was in the bottom of the net, hit the floor, and popped out. That's how that one was, Bob.
That's pretty far down in there, Carl. The long bound. Would that be a good basket or not?
I don't know. That's like kicking, that's like kicking a field goal, and it goes over the crossbars, and then the wind blows it back out.
That's good basket. Once it goes down through, once it's down through, it's good.
I am not going to argue. I've never seen it happen. It never will happen, probably, so I'm not too worried about it. I'd like to thank a couple more of our sponsors. How about Tom Hall, family of automobile dealerships, where you always find knock your socks off deals. I&K Distributing. I&K at 1600 Gressel Drive in Delphus. And your tough, smart attorneys at Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz in Lima. You can call them at 1-800-223-8897. Wasn't for all those fine folks, we wouldn't be here for the regional semifinals, Division 4.
Oh, boy, underneath.
Wide open was Metzger. He was standing, like Bob said, all by himself. He smiled. They don't need any more points, and there is, I think he was going to put a saddle on Kevin Grotehouse and ride him out the University of Toledo. It's gotten awful quiet, Bob, here in the last 4 minutes, because I think most people see the writing on the wall. And more importantly, the score on the scoreboard, 60-47.
But you know, Carl, there might be an awful lot of noise behind us.
I'm sure there is.
And in this big arena like this, it's really hard to hear them.
All I want to hear when this game is over is, let's jump in the truck and head for the steakhouse. You going with us, Bob?
I'm going
after the game.
I am ready to eat.
Because usually we're full by now, because the University of Toledo would have fed us, but no food up in the hospitality suite. Second shot's missed by Kevin. Rebound pulled down by the Panthers, and here they come. And they're going to have to do it in a hurry as we're approaching crunch time. Outside, come up short with that one. Rebound back up and in by Zach Wise.
Nice shot. Nice move under the basket.
61-49. Down to crunch time. 2 minutes. Across the timeline, Utrip. Down low, Metzger. Oh, he comes up short and puts it back in. He couldn't believe he missed the first one. 63-49. John Von Sossen up off the bench. And Coach Brian Ziegler's been pretty quiet all night, Bob.
Well, he hadn't had a chance to get excited, Carl, the whole second half. Fort Jennings took it to him early in the second half, and I don't think they ever thought they had a chance of getting back in the ball game.
I believe this is the 4th regional appearance by the Fort Jennings Musketeers.
Well, this is 2 in a row, and they can be satisfied the way they played tonight. They played a good basketball game.
There's a steal by Utrip. Obviously the first in school history of being back-to-back in the regionals, since they've only been there 4 times.
Yep.
And up onto the press row is Jordan Roofer. There's a couple guys down there I'd like to see him step on. Who did he get? I won't mention any names.
Is Bob Heitmeyer sitting down there?
No, he's right here beside us.
Okay, just checking.
He's trying to keep you in line. No!
Oh, boy!
No look pass, and I'm going to say that's going to do it.
Oh, boy, we'll give him a big assist on that one.
65-49.
Matt Metzger.
Shot up, no good. There's the story of the night right there for Stryker. Fort Jennings is going to advance to the regional championship game to take on either Kalida or Tiffin Calvert. And by the time you see this, you know who it is. We're going to hang around and check it out, hoping that Dick Quartercracks can pull off a win over Tiffin Calvert.
John Von Sossen can relax over there now.
Yep, he can relax about all night. There was in the first quarter, they showed kind of a run, Bob, but as we check our quarter scores, it was 19-16 Fort Jennings after 1, and then Fort Jennings outscored Stryker 16-11 in the second quarter, and we still had ourselves a game at the half, 35-27. But then in the third quarter, Fort Jennings pulled away, and from that point on, it's been all Musketeers.
They've really played a ball game tonight. I don't think you expect much more basketball out of Fort Jennings you got tonight.
At the foul line is Kyle Liebrecht, and he's going to be shooting the 1-and-1, and he nails the first one. I missed one in there, Bob?
Yeah, well, he missed the first one.
He missed the first one, got the second. We're down to 48 seconds. 66-49. Outside 3 ball. This one is no good. Rebound Metzger, and all they can do is I was going to say foul, but they didn't. Down the floor in the ball game is Mark Bamer. He's number 30. John Von Sossen will substitute as soon as he gets the chance, looking for Aaron Utrip to come back in. We're down to 22 seconds. And I don't think Stryker is going to do anything but watch the time expire.
Yeah, I think they can't win her now.
Down to 14 seconds. Kyle Liebrecht with 10 seconds. We're down to 4 seconds. 2 seconds, 1, and the Fort Jennings Musketeers are going to go to the regional championship. They have defeated the Stryker Panthers here from the University of Toledo. Our final score, the Musketeers 66, the Panthers 49. Postgame show coming up next on Fox. Welcome back to the University of Toledo. Our ball game is over. Congratulations goes out to the Fort Jennings Musketeers. They are big winners here tonight in this regional semifinal game as they defeat the Stryker Panthers. Final score 66-49. Time now for our post-game show here on Fox. Post-game show being brought to you by our good friends at Cappy Sports and Skyline Chili. Time to talk to our player of the game. Oh, he's not here. He's out in the press room.
I thought maybe you were talking about me, Carl. I was ready to go.
They used to let them bring the guys out, and they make them stay in the rooms now. You know, usually we're weaselly enough we can get them out here, but they went there first.
Since he didn't show, maybe I can be the player of the game and get this nice shirt. How would that be?
How many did you get tonight?
How many I got? Same as I started with, 0.
Player of the game tonight is Matt Metzger. Matt tonight had a very good ball game, 24 points, hitting big shots all over the place.
You know, the thing I like about Matt Metzger, he scores inside, he scores from 10, 15 foot, and he can still hit the 3. He's an outstanding basketball player. But I believe tonight, you got to give him all credit. 7 guys played, 7 guys produced for Fort Jennings. A real good victory for Fort Jennings tonight.
Got some individual numbers for me?
Okay, Carl. For Fort Jennings, Kyle Liebrecht had 6, Kevin Grotehouse 15, Matt Metzger 24 points to lead the scoring. Scott Gosser had 5, and Aaron Utrip had 15. Every time that the Fort Jennings needed a point, it seems like that Aaron Utrip stepped up and got it for him.
Let me do this real quick. These are the cheerleaders here. What's your name?
Lynn Schrader.
Okay, and what's your name?
Natalie Steckschulde.
See, they won't let the guys
Oh,
what?
You have sure added a lot to this program by bringing these 2 cute girls in here
What I
tonight.
thought we do. See, they won't let the players come out anymore and talk to us like they used to. Back in the olden days, they just let them come out and talk. So if you guys would you accept Matt Metzger's Player of the Game t-shirt and then give it to Matt for us? Since he couldn't be here to do it, could you do that? Okay, Bob, go ahead.
Fox Sunday.
Sunday. They're the